afternoon. Achieving Breakthroughs will be with you all momentarily. Enjoy the sounds of peace. Good afternoon, Facebook. Good afternoon, Achieving Breakthroughs audience. Happy Tuesday, happy Tuesday, happy Tuesday. You are in the mix with your noonday lunchtime empowerment coach, Coach Ivory Ector. How are you all doing? Go on down there and make some comments. Let me know how you're doing today. Let me know. All right, now, come on, Cedric. How you doing? Hey, everybody. Let me know how you all are doing. And I just want you all to just make some comments and let me know how you're doing. I'm going to try to read the comments at the same time, reply to you. And then we're going to get going with today's empowerment session. I would like to welcome any first-time viewers to Empowerment Tuesdays, brought to you by Achieving Breakthrough. I'm your empowerment coach, Ivory Ector, and I am here every Tuesday at 12 o'clock to empower you to achieve breakthroughs in your life. Okay, Carolyn says she's doing great. She's doing great. Come on in and let me know how you're doing. We've been having some awesome time every Tuesday here on Achieving Breakthroughs as we're coming to you in your home. Some of you are still at work. Some of you all are doing schoolwork because your children are home. And we have been doing some great things, talking about ways to achieve breakthroughs. And last week's session was about achieving breakthrough in the area of consistency. What's up, my brother? What's up, Sean? He says he's doing great. Great. I'm glad to hear that. Let me know how you're doing in there. Don't just look, but engage. Achieving Breakthroughs is a company that loves when their people engage. We are interactive. We engage. We participate. We're hands-on. So let me know how you're doing. I just want to go over last week's empowerment session was about consistency, and so I didn't get a chance to get through the entire empowerment session for consistency. So today is part 2 of consistency. What I want to start off with, which is my little slogan, I said that consistency is a breeding ground for productivity. I want you to know that consistency is a breeding ground for productivity. If you are not consistent in your life, then you are not going to be productive in your life. But if you are consistent in your life, I guarantee you, you will see a large impact, a very huge impact in productivity in your life. Consistency in positivity. We don't want to be consistent in being mean, being nasty, being rude, unproductive, being prideful, being arrogant, being unforgiving. No, we want to be consistent with the positive things in our lives. And so good afternoon, my mom is on there. We want to be consistent with being positive. And so in order for you to produce, in order for you to be effective, in order for you to be successful, in order for you to grow, in order for you to develop, in order for you to create, establish, any of those words, for you to be able to do any of those things, you have to be a consistent person. And the first person that you have to be consistent with is yourself. If you are not consistent with yourself, then you can't be consistent for anybody else. And if you are consistent for other people and you're not consistent for yourself, then you're not living for yourself. You're not living in a truth. You're living in a false. You cannot be 100% for somebody else and give yourself 70. You cannot give your job 100% and then you don't take care of the needs and the consistencies of yourself. You cannot be consistent in building and establishing and helping somebody else, but then you lack consistency when it comes to building and establishing yourself. In order to be successful, you have to be consistent. Once again, consistency is a breeding ground for productivity. If you want to produce, be consistent. If you want to be effective, be consistent. If you want to build, be consistent. If you want to establish, be consistent. If you want to be great, be consistent. You have to be consistent with whatever it is that you're doing. If you want to be the top chef, be consistent with learning the new techniques. If you want to be the best motivational speaker, be consistent with learning your audience and the different tools that you need. If you want to be the best mother, the best father, be consistent with learning how to communicate effectively with your kids, with showing them love. If you want to be the best leader, be consistent with having concerns and understanding the people in which you're leading. If you want to be if you want to be great at just being a better person, be consistent with self-examining yourself. Be consistent with searching yourself. Be consistent with being honest with yourself. Consistency pays off. Let me say that again. Consistency pays off. And this is what you don't understand. Whether you're consistently doing something positive or something negative, at the end of the day, it pays off. All right? So it doesn't matter. But what we want to do is we want to knock out the consistency and negativity, and we want to empower you to be consistent with positivity. Because consistency, I say it again, is the breeding ground for productivity. We should no longer be stagnant. We should not be stuck. We should not be blaming. We should not be self-accusing. We should not be in self-pity. We should not be down, but we should be empowered to progress, empowered to break through, empowered to transform, empowered to build, empowered to create, empowered to take our business to the next level, our ministry to the next level, our families to the next level, our mindset to the next level, our finances to the next level, our relationships to the next level, our communications to the next level. But we cannot go to the next level being inconsistent. I challenge you today to be consistent in that in which you're doing. I'm going to give you a famous quote. This quote is from Dwayne Johnson. Success isn't always about greatness. It's about consistency. Consistent hard work leads to success. Greatness will come. Do you understand that? What Dwayne Johnson said was, success isn't always about greatness. He said it's about consistency. Consistent hard work leads to success. Greatness will come. So that goes with what I stated. Consistency is a breeding ground for productivity. Dwayne Johnson says, if you be consistent, you'll be successful, and your success will make you great. If you be consistent, you can be successful, and your successfulness will make you great. Our problem is we want to shoot for greatness and we lack consistency. We want to shoot for I want to be rich, because that's for some reason is a goal for people to be rich and not wealthy. That's another topic to break through on. But in order to be anything, consistency has to flow out of you. You have to be consistent. You have to be committed. You have to buy into what you're doing. If you don't buy into you, if you're not buying into you, if you're not consistent with empowering you, developing you, establishing you, maturing you, then you cannot give anything to anybody else, because when they're looking for you, they won't be able to find you. Okay? Consistency. Let's talk about it. I got an example. Consistency produces change. Okay? Consistency produces change. All right? You don't believe me? Well, how can it produce change if I'm still being mean? You know, we're not talking about you being negative. We want you to break out of negativity and consistency and break into the positive realm of consistency. Consistency produces change. Your tool for consistency for today to be empowered is change. If I continue, I'm going to use the example of working out. If I continue to work out and I am consistent at working out, it doesn't matter what my workout is. My workout can be walking. My workout can be jogging. My workout can be cardio. My workout can be on the treadmill, can be the weights, can be whatever it is. If I am consistent to it, this is the other word I got for you, faithful to it. If you are consistent and faithful goes hand in hand. If you are consistent with that workout, you will change. What will change? Your body will change. Your muscles will change. Your metabolism will change. If you are consistent with working out, you're going to see a change. So when you're consistent, there is a change that takes place. And I use the example as working out. If I first was weighing 500 pounds and then I began to work out, I began to change the way I eat, I began to stop eating late at night and just doing a lot of different things for me. If I'm consistent with that regimen, if I'm consistent with that routine, then my weight will drop. I will be able to breathe better. I will be much more healthier. I will have to take less medication. I will be more, not as tired as I normally am. I'll be able to be more active. I'll be able to be more vibrant. My body will come back into alignment. And now have the fire, the zeal, the energy, the mindset, the focus to do what I need to do because I'm consistent with working out. So when you're consistent with something, it brings about a change. Consistency is change. That is a developmental process. When you are consistent, I use the example once again as working out. If I am consistent with working out, my body is going to change. My body is going to change for the betterment of me because I have been consistent. I have been faithful to this thing for a purpose. Last week, our tool was in order to be consistent, you must focus. So if we take the consistency tool from last week, which is focus, and combine it with the consistency tool today for change, then what am I saying? I'm saying when you are consistent, then you will have greater focus. And when you're consistent and focused, then you can change because consistency brings about focus and consistency brings about a change. So when I am focused, I can change because I'm consistent with the purpose of why I'm doing what it is that I am doing. Okay? I'll give you another example. Consistency matures you. So if I'm focused on being consistent and changing my attitude, if I'm focused on being consistent with changing my behavior, if I'm focused on being consistent about time management, if I'm focused on being consistent about being more caring, if I'm focused on being consistent about being more loving, then I mature in those areas. Consistency is a change. So if I'm constantly working to better myself on a day-to-day basis, then there should be a manifestation of that consistency work. That means a change should take place. I should have matured and know that because I give money, I don't always have to go out and spend it. When I'm mature, when I'm consistent in saying I'm going to save and I'm going to invest, then mature change, consistency and change and focus says, do not spend your money frivolously. This money can be used for that. Take your money and put it here. Invest there. Do this. When you are consistent in changing and improving, then you mature. Consistency helps you focus. Consistency helps you change. Consistency brings maturity. We can no longer say, well, I'm only doing this because this is what happened, or I gave that response because this is what I got. Yes, there is a reaction for every action, but when you're consistent with developing yourself, when you're consistent to improving your brand, when you're consistent with improving your business, when you're consistent with improving your relationships, when you're consistent in working on developing better relationships, better families, better communication ethics, better work ethics, when you are consistent with developing and whatever it is and whatever area of life that you're doing, you bring forth change, and change brings forth maturity. When I work out, I'm going to keep using the workout as an example. When I work out, my muscles, my metabolism, everything matures. That means it gets stronger. It gets better. You understand what I'm saying? I hope you all are following me. It's better. It's stronger. I'll use another one. Consistency empowers you. Every time you see yourself doing something, you know, and it may be a little hard, but every time you complete it, you feel good. And you say, you know what? Oh man, I thought I wasn't going to be able to do that, but I did it. I did it. And I'm going to use myself as an example. I'm fairly new to this going live and, you know, doing all these things. So my husband is really helping me with setting up, getting lighting done. And sometimes, like today, I was like, you know what? Today is a day that I could just not go live. They're not going to miss anything. I cannot go live. But guess what came to me? The empowerment session today. You must remain consistent. It doesn't matter what obstacles come your way. It doesn't matter what situation takes place. It doesn't matter if time seems like it's running out. You must remain consistent. Ivory, get yourself together, get up, and do your thing. And I'm sitting here today because that's maturity, that's focus, okay, that's change, and I'm empowered. When you are consistent in whatever it is that you are establishing, whatever it is that you are doing, whatever it is that you are a part of, whatever it is that you are putting together, whatever it is that your focus is on, you are empowered. And empowering is what we do at Achieving Breakthroughs. We empower you. When you are empowered, you are determined, you are fortified, you are strong, you are focused, you can go. You hear me? And you can go with the best of them. When you are consistent. When you're consistent and that day comes that you don't feel like doing nothing, guess what comes? Empowerment kicks in to say, I gotta do this because I'm established in something. I'm a consistent person. If I don't move, my business not gonna make it. If I don't move, then my position is not worth it. If I don't move, my family is not gonna be what it needs to be. If I don't move, my finances is gonna be where it is. If I don't move, my friendships, my relationships are not gonna be where they need to be. If I don't move, if I'm not consistent in building, establishing, empowering, cultivating, structuring, changing, rearranging, focus, if I'm not consistent with the things that I need to be to establish a better future, a better me, a better present, a better life, a better business, a better ministry, a better self, a better person, friend, family, auntie, niece, uncle, cousin, bro, and whatever it is that you are working on or whatever it is that you are doing, if you lack consistency, then you cannot be the greater you that you can be. Remember what Dwayne Johnson said. Everybody's aiming for success, but nobody wants to be consistent. Because consistency and success says, even if I don't get 50 million likes, I still have to be consistent in what I said that I want to do, or what it is that I said I'm going to build, or who it is I said that I am going to be. Even if I feel like my kids don't acknowledge me, or they're not appreciative of me, I still have to be consistent with being the best parent, even if they don't say thank you. Let me say that again for somebody who might need to hear this. Even if your children, if it seems like they're not grateful, you still have to be consistent with being the best parent, mother, and father that you can be, because that consistency will embetter you, and they'll be able to look back on it and say, even though I was ungrateful, my mother and my father still did what they needed to do for me. Okay, on that job, even if you feel like you're being overlooked, and so you decide to say, I'm not going to go above and beyond my responsibilities anymore. I'm just going to do what they paid me to do, and I'm not going to let my creative juices flow, and I'm just going to do the bare minimum. No, be consistent in being the great you right in the position that you're at, because your job is simply a training ground for your exploits. Your job is simply a training ground for your business. Your job is simply a training ground for your promotion. Be consistent with being the greatest you can be right in your place of employment, because when you stop being consistent, then it takes away from your identity. You have to remain consistent. Be empowered by your work, not somebody else's work. Every time you remain consistent, you are empowered by what you're doing. Every time you remain consistent, you are being empowered by what you're doing, because it is doing something for somebody else. You must remember that. Consistency establishes you. Consistency establishes you. We want to be established, so we want to get around, we want to just do one quick hit wonders, got a great idea, we want to hit it. We okay with being street known. I got to just talk about it. We okay with being just street known. But when you're consistent, you can be beyond the streets. But if you consistent with being happy, with being street known, hood known, neighborhood known, city known, then you can never go beyond to the greatness. You will never reach greatness being happy with being consistent with being street known, hood known, neighborhood known. Your brand, your style, your business, your name, your family, your investments can't go nowhere past your little parameter of my street, my hood, my neighborhood. No. When you are consistent, it establishes you. And let's use a tree. As I'm talking, I see a tree. And the tree has a trunk, but the trunk has a root. And when the trunk has a root and the roots grow out like this, and it has more than one, and those roots expand beyond where we can't see because we're not under the ground with the roots. But it's one tree with roots coming underneath it. And because God is giving that tree what it needs, air, wind, rain, water, snow, the sea, the sun, oxygen, the wind blowing, everything that tree needs, it helps the tree to continue to change in the seasons. That's one of the keys. Remember, that tree has it continues to grow. It continues to, and it's established because its roots is in the ground, but its roots is going out. And that's what it is. You can be established in the city of Chicago, but you want your roots to stretch out just like the roots of a tree. You want to be established, but you want to branch out past that little parameter of Chicago. And consistency does that. You want to establish yourself, not just, I got a good, quick, hot brand. Let me just hit it, and then we don't see you no more. Or, hey, I was nice to my family this week, or I was good to my kids this week. Oh, and not anymore. Or I was faithful to this relationship, or I was faithful to that, or I was, and now I'm no. When you are established, you fight more. When you're established, you yearn more. When you're established, you work more. When you're established, your zeal, your fire, your urge, you want more when you are established. When you're not established, it's a fly by night. You don't care. It's like a hit it and quit it, so to speak. You know what I mean? You have to be established. Consistency brings establishment. Establish yourselves so that you can have something to remain consistent about. Do you all understand that? Consistency matures you. Consistency empowers you. And consistency establishes you. Let's stop doing these quick conferences or these quick pop-up shops and this and that and I took my kids out this week and I didn't do anything the next 3 months, or I feel good today, so I'm going to be a great wife or a good husband, but next week I don't know what it's going to be like. No. Well, I was a good friend today, but I don't feel like being with him, bothering with him tomorrow. Well, I was on time today for work, but I don't even care about this job. No. Because what you do with who or where you are, it determines how you're going to be for what you're trying to do. What you do with who and where you are determines how you're going to be with what it is that you're doing. So you want to remain consistent. In consistency, I'm going to say it again, you must use the tool of change. Our tool today is change. Last week's tool for consistency was focus. Today's tool for consistency is change. It's change. It is change. Consistency brings change. Okay, listen to this. I'm looking at my notes. Listen to this. If you're consistent and you don't see change, you must reevaluate what you're being consistent in, why you're being consistent in it, and what is the purpose of your consistency. I'm going to say that again. If you're consistent and you don't see change, You must reevaluate what you're being consistent in, why you're being consistent in it, and what is the purpose of your consistency. Because when you know these things, and you don't see it, if you don't know these things, then you can't see the change because you're not focused, which was last week's empowerment tool. But if you know these things, then you can be honest with yourself and redirect yourself and say, you know what? My focus was wrong. I was only trying to do this because, okay, let me use relationship. Oh, he left me, so now I'm going to go do all this so that he can see he lost something. Or she left me and I'm going to go do all this and so she can see. No. Then you haven't changed. You're trying to be consistent with proving somebody wrong. That's a negative. No, just be consistent with bettering yourself. If they left you, assess the relationship. Assess why it happened. Look at yourself. Look at that situation and be consistent to bring about that change in that, okay? Same thing on your job. Am I here just to be promoted or am I here to be productive? There's a difference. There is a difference because if you're only there to be promoted, then you're only going to produce when you're looking to be promoted. When you're not looking to be promoted, then you're not going to produce. That means you're not consistent. Consistency says whether you're looking or not, I'm still going to give you what I got. Consistency says whether I have all the money in the bank or not, I'm still going to give you what I got. Consistency says whether I got 5 million followers or 20 followers, I'm going to give it to them like it's a stadium full of people. Consistency says it doesn't matter what you're doing. This is what I'm doing. I'm hearing the scripture really quick. Joshua says, for me and my house, we're going to serve the Lord. He didn't care what they was doing because he was consistent. He was focused. And in order to be consistent, you have to be focused. You have to bring about a change. Joshua was like, look, as for me and my house, we're going to serve the Lord. And y'all, look, we're going to do this. He changed. I'm not about to be bothered with them anymore. This is what we doing. That was a change because he was consistent in his faith. And so in order for you to be consistent, you have to be willing and able, and you should see the change. Why are you trying to be consistent in being kind? Why are you trying to be consistent in building this business? Is it because I want to get rich? Because when you become a lover of money, that is the root to evil. When you're chasing after money, you don't make money. If money is the goal, you're never going to have it. You're going to always be working on being consistent, but you're never going to establish because the focus is wrong. Why did you create the business? Why did you walk in your purpose? Why are you in your creative juices? Why are you in the position you're at your job? Why are you a parent? Why are you an uncle? Why are you a godmother? Why are you a godfather? Why are you a friend? Why are you a CEO? Why are you there? And you have to remember why you're where you are, and that will push you into your place of consistency. We lose focus of why we're where we are, and we change into something totally opposite because we lost focus. And so now our consistent streak stops because we lost our focus. So now we're not consistent when we first got it. We was on fire. We was ready. We was geek. We was talking to the little people on the totem pole, stopping back, making sure everybody was okay. But boom, once we made it, you lost your consistency of caring, your consistency of concern, your consistency of help, your consistency of love, your consistency of encouragement, your consistency of producing, your consistency of working, your consistency of whatever it is that you are supposed to be doing because you lost your focus. You lost why you first said, this is what I'm going to do. And we cannot do that. So Achieving Breakthroughs empowers you today with the tool of change. Consistency brings change. And remember, consistency is a breeding ground for productivity. In order to be productive, you must be consistent. In order to be successful, you must be consistent. And consistency brings you greatness. Nothing brings you greatness but consistency, because consistency is simply faithfulness. Are you consistent? Are you faithful too? For those that, want to go to a spiritual component of it. Are you faithful to that in which you have? regardless to what it's giving you. If it's giving you 10-fold, if it's giving you 100-fold, if it's giving you 60-fold. Are you consistent with it? Okay, you're a beautician and you got 5 clients. Are you consistent with how you're treating those 5 clients, or are you always late? Are you sitting there talking on the phone and doing their hair too late? That counts. If you're a barber, if you tell them 10 o'clock, then you shouldn't be out eating at 10 o'clock. Are you consistent with your customers' time? See, consistency is not just about what you're doing for you. It's what you're doing for other people, because word of mouth is bond. It works. Are you consistent with your time, with your customers' time? Whoever you are helping, whoever you're serving, whatever you're doing, are you consistent with that? If I come to your restaurant, do I gotta wait 30 minutes? Unless you tell me I'm ordering a porterhouse steak and it's saying fine print, because this is cooked on the spot, it's going to take about 40 minutes, then I know they're consistent with it. And then I bring it out in 10 minutes, because it's telling me that because of the size of this steak and because the quality of it, it's going to take this amount of time. But if I'm ordering tacos and I got to wait 30 minutes for some tacos, then you're not consistent of my time. And so that makes us lose customers, or people lose interest in who we are. Even if it's your side hustle. If you're going to make clothes on the side, be consistent with making the clothes. Don't put it out there and then take it back. If you're going to make wigs on the side, be consistent with making wigs on the side. But you got to ask yourself, am I making wigs on the side to build a business? Am I making clothes on the side to build a business? Am I doing hair on the side to establish myself? Or if I'm just doing something in my pastime? See, because you don't have time to waste on doing stuff that's being consistent, being inconsistent with stuff that's not producing anything. If doing hair on the side isn't producing anything, then what are we wasting time for? You can take that into somewhere else. Everything we do has to have a purpose. It has to bring consistency, and it has to empower us. So, I leave you with this today. This was part 2 of Achieving's Breakthrough Empowerment Session. It was about consistency, and I want you to look at this. Be consistent in love. Be consistent in loving. Be consistent in forgiving, and be consistent in maturing. Be consistent in learning. Be consistent in giving. Be consistent in building. Be consistent in saving. Be consistent in everything that you do, because consistency follows you. I'll say it again as we're closing out. Turn it down a little bit. Be consistent in love. Be consistent in loving. Be consistent in forgiving. Be consistent in maturing. Be consistent in learning. Be consistent in giving. Be consistent in building. Be consistent in saving. Be consistent in everything that you do, because consistency follows you. You have just tuned in to Achieving Breakthroughs Lunchtime Mix Break, Tuesday, 12 p.m. We are empowering you today with part 2 of consistency. Be empowered to be consistent. Consistency brings focus. Consistency brings about a change. And consistency is the breeding ground for productivity. And productivity gives you success. And success leads you to greatness. Be empowered. Achieving Breakthroughs. We're out.